Time for today's big interview as we take you to Madison. Welcome in middle blocker Carter Booth. Hey, Carter, I want to start with last night's spring volleyball showcase. Again, such a good team in Marquette. What's it like in the spring? Not necessarily the season, but to be getting ready by not just practicing and scrimmaging, but to be facing talent like the one you faced last night.
This time is so precious, especially with so many new people coming in. Getting to work on our cohesion on the court in front of our home crowd and, like you said, against some great talent it's just so important and it's so special. Marquette is a great team, and it really tested our ability to hang in there in long rallies and to play offense and to defend, and I'm really happy with how we did last night.
What did you guys do so well? I know, as I mentioned, you got out to a 4-0 lead in set one, 5-0 in set two. They push you a little bit more in set three, but you combine those three sets. It's not just a sweep, but you won by an average of about 7 points per set. So what worked so well?
I think it was really our mindset. We went in thinking crush. Like, we don't want to just sneak by a few points. We really want to go out there and crush from the start, be on the attack. And I think that really aggressive mindset helped us to create that separation in all those sets.
You mentioned the fan turnout last night, and I mentioned fan turnout when I look back to 2023 when you played Marquette at Fiserv Forum. It's still an all-time NCAA indoor record, more than 17,000. You guys will do that again. I know the rest of your non-conference is absolutely stacked. That's just the way that Coach Sheffield likes it. How do the players look at that when you know that night in and night out, before you get into the best conference in the country, you're going to play some of the best non-conference competition out there?
Again, I think we all just look at it as, first of all, a testament to how devoted our fans are. We appreciate them so much, and we know we wouldn't be here without them. And also as an incredible opportunity to get used to playing in front of a ton of eyes. We have Madison Quest, who just came out of high school, who a lot of these girls on this team have not played in front of crowds that large. So to get that experience before it, quote unquote, counts, every match counts, obviously, but before we get into our regular season schedule, it's so important, and I'm so happy that we get to practice those kinks right now, as opposed to on the main stage.
Now, that was your third spring match. Pretty cool that the first two during that spring break time period in March were out in Hawaii. What was the best part about that trip? And it doesn't have to be on the court if the best part was actually some of the stuff you guys got to do off the court.
This is Wisconsin, so I think all of us would say the best part was winning twice. But outside of that, I think getting to snorkel and explore and just spend time together as a team. I was talking to Emily yesterday and just mentioned that before, a few months ago, we were all strangers to each other. When I sat next to Mimi in the film room, it felt like I was sitting next to a unicorn. Like, I'd only ever seen her through a screen or heard about her through scouting reports. So getting to interact with each other on a person-to-person level was probably my favorite part.
Obviously, Mimi is a huge addition. How has she fit in, and what does make her so good?
She's fit in seamlessly. Everybody has. We're all super close. You'd think we'd known each other for years. And I think what makes Mimi so special is just how calm she is. She's very steady. She doesn't get rattled easily, and I think that's, again, I feel like I'm saying this so much, but it's so important because she does have sort of a target on her back. We know that when we go into these matches, people are going to target her in serve receive. They're going to D up on her. And to have that sort of mentality where nothing really shakes her, it makes her the great player that she is.
You are obviously one of the veteran leaders on this team, a team that, as you mentioned, looks a lot different after so many of the names that I mentioned ran out of eligibility after last season. How does that change your role and the way you approach perhaps your leadership with this year's group?
It's a lot of, I can't assume that anybody knows anything. That was the main conversation that me and my coaches had before coming into the season. Nobody knows really what our culture is. Nobody knows what we're about because they just got here. So it's my job to act as a bridge to Badger of the past and our past culture and be able to sort of introduce this new group to how we do what we do. And so my leadership role is really just getting us all acclimated to what we need to do here as quickly as possible.
And of course, freshmen need that acclimation, but we've seen in recent years freshmen step in and play remarkably well in this league. At Izzy Stark helping Penn State win a national championship. And in Madison, Charlie Fearbringer was terrific a year ago, and she was fantastic last night, not just in terms of setting and all the assists, but the job that she can do on the service line as well. How have you seen her grow as both a person and player over the last year?
I think her confidence and her presence on the court has grown immensely. She did very well last year, but there is always an aspect of you're fresh out of high school, and it's daunting to come onto a court with National Players of the Year, All-Americans, All Big Ten. That is a daunting task to be able to run that type of group. And I think I've just seen her come into her role as like commander of the court when she's on there, and she's running things very well. She's talking, she's communicating, and she's doing so in an effective and firm way.
Obviously, a lot will be expected from you, from Mimi, and from Charlie. What other names should we get used to having an impact when we watch Wisconsin volleyball?
I think Madison Quest. I mean, she went off last night, and we were all like not shocked. She's a very good player and she does well in practice, but to watch her, this is her third match ever, her first match in front of a home crowd, and to watch her go up and hit 1,000 for the first 2/3 of the match, it was just super impressive, and I'm excited to see where she goes from here.
Carter, I'm curious for you individually, with your dad's background starring at Penn State and in the NBA, why was it ultimately volleyball over hoops for you?
Being completely honest, I got my father's height, but my mother's stubbornness. I do not like being told what to do, or, and just growing up in a house with somebody who is a basketball expert and in some aspects legend, I just knew I did not want to live with my coach. I don't think that would have been a good situation for me, and I wanted to sort of write my own story, build my own path. So I was always going to play a sport. It was very clear. It was either you play a sport or you're joining the mathletes and you're getting your college paid for. And the volleyball was just the one that I chose. It's the one that I fell into.
Stubborn and skilled, maybe a little bit tough for parents, but I'm sure very good when you're expected to be the leader of a top-tier Division I athletic program, which is exactly your role this year with Wisconsin volleyball. Carter Booth, really appreciate the time. Enjoy the rest of the spring. Can't wait to see you and the rest of the team on the court this fall.
Thank you.